We're using elimination method using multiplication. So what we're going to do here is we have to use elimination method, but if you notice, neither of these cancel out. X and 4x, 10y and 5y, they don't eliminate each other. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply x 10y equals 3 by negative 4, creating negative 4x minus 40x equals negative 12. Then we add straight down and they eliminate and we solve, okay? I am going to do another example like this on this other page. This page right here, you have this on day 1 of the elimination method, just to use as some examples. So you can go back and get that if you want to follow along. This is under for today. We're going to look at 6 first. Notice that 8x plus y equals negative 16 and negative 3x plus y equals negative 5, you don't eliminate something. So we could either think of this as subtracting, but I like to think of it as multiplying the top one by negative 1. So I create this equation. I now have negative 8x minus y equals positive 16. And I'm just going to rewrite the other equation that I have. I didn't change negative 3x plus y equals negative 5 at all. Now that I have that, now I'm going to add straight down. Okay. Negative 8x and negative 3x, 8, 9, 10, 11. I get negative 11x equals 11. I divide by negative 11 and I get x equals negative 1. Now I'm going to put that back in my original equation. I'm going to do the one where I didn't multiply by a negative. I'm going to put it back in there. 8 times negative 1 plus y equals negative 16. And I'm going to get negative 8 plus y equals negative 16, which gives me y equals negative 8. I'm going to add 8 to both sides. Negative 16 plus 8 is negative 8. So I am now going to put this in the second equation down here and go negative 3 times negative 1 plus negative 8 equals negative 5. So I'm going to get 3 plus negative 8 equals negative 5. Negative 5 equals negative 5. I often change this. I can just do this with a different color so you guys can see that that's my check. Oh, maybe not. There we go. That's my check. So I'm going to make sure I write at the bottom that I am using negative 1 comma negative 8 as my answer. Okay. We can also do this by timesing a negative 1 and it becomes positive. So I can end up with 6x minus 6y equals negative 6. Again, I times everything here. Let me do it. I times all of this by a negative 1 and then distributed it. That's what I'm doing. All three things. Okay. So I've got this. And then I'm going to just put the other one right under it. Negative 6x plus 3y equals negative 12. And I'm just going to add straight down. Just going to add straight down. And that gives me negative 3y equals negative 18. I divide by negative 3, and I'm going to get y equals 6 as my answer. So then I'm just going to put it back in. I'm going to put it back into that original equation. I'm doing a different color so you can see. And I'm going to get negative 6 times x plus 6 times 6 equals 6. That's a lot of sixes. So I get negative 6x plus 36 equals 6. I subtract 36 from both sides, and I get negative 6x equals 30. I divide by negative 6, and I get x equals negative 5. Okay. So I'm just going to check this by putting it into that other equation before I write down my answer. Negative 6 times negative 5 plus 3 times 6 equals negative 12. So I'm going to get 30 plus 18 equals negative 12. And I have done something incorrect because I'm not getting the right answer. So let's go back and look. I canceled these out. I got negative 3 equals negative 18. That is the correct answer. Divide it, and I get a positive 6. I plug in a positive 6 into, put it into that first equation. 6 times 6 is 36. This is negative 30. So this is a positive 5. So hard to catch those negatives sometimes. So this would be a positive 5, which would make this a negative 30, which would give us negative 12 equals negative 12. Yeah. Okay. We're going to take one from this over here. I'm going to do number 7. This one is a little bit more difficult because I actually can't just multiply it by a negative 1. I have to multiply it by a negative 2. I'm going to multiply the second one, everything in here, by a negative 2. And the reason I'm doing that is because then the x's will go away, and it's easier to multiply 1 times a negative. So first I'm going to rewrite my first equation, which is just 2x plus 3y equals 6. And then the second equation, remember I'm multiplying each of these things by negative 2. It's like distributive property. So it's negative 2x minus 4y equals negative 10. And I'm going to now add, after all of that, now I'm adding straight down. And I am going to get y equals 4. Negative 2 times plus 2x is 0. 3y and negative 4y, it's a negative 1. Don't forget that negative. And then 6 minus 10 is a negative 4. And then I would divide by negative 1, giving us, I'm going to move this all up. Giving us y equals, I don't want to make it bigger, I just want to move it. Y equals 4. Okay, so once that is done, I'm going to plug it back in to this equation. I'm going to use a different color so you can see. I'm going to do it to the top equation because I didn't change it at all. 2x plus 3 times 4 equals 6. Again, you really want to put it into the equation that you didn't manipulate. Therefore, it, makes it easier to do if you made any mistakes. So 2x plus 12 equals 6. So 2x equals negative 6. We divide by 2, and x equals negative 3. Okay, so we go negative 3, and we go 4. Okay, so we haven't checked yet, though. I usually don't put that there before I check. I don't know why I did this time. But I'm going to put it into that top equation. 2 times negative 3. I'm going to put it in the bottom equation, actually, because there's less work. So I'm going to go negative 3 plus 2 times 4 equals 5. Notice I put it in the equation before we changed it. So I get negative 3 plus 8 equals 5, so 5 equals 5. It does check out. All right, let's do one more. If we look right here at number 8, the first thing I'm going to look at is if I multiply this first one by a 2, I could eliminate the y's. But I could multiply the second one by negative 3. I'm going to do the first one just because I did the second one the first over there, and I'm going to multiply it by 2. So my new equation here is going to be 6x minus 2y equals 4. And I'm going to have x plus 2y equals 3 right under it. So that is going to give me, once I have, I'm going to change this to, once I've done it, I am going to get 7x equals 7. So then x equals 1. Worked out well. Now I'm going to plug this in to this bottom equation. And again, I'm going to change the color so you can see that it's different. And I'm going to go 1 plus 2y equals 3. I subtract 1 from each side, and I get 2y equals 2. Therefore, y equals 1. So I can just simply plug those in, 1 comma 1. But let's check our answers. So I'm going to plug these into this first original one, I guess, is the best way to do it. But you could have chosen the bottom one instead. Just make sure, not the one you've manipulated, change the numbers to. So 3 times 1 instead of x minus y, which is 1, equals 2. So we get 3 minus 1 equals 2, so 2 equals 2. And we're good. So that's how to do elimination method when we have to multiply it by something. Those are some examples.